Can't stop me from rapping, can he? Can he, ha? I spit it through the wire, man. There's too much stuff on my heart right now, man.
All right, welcome live, everybody. I'm your host, once again, back in front of the ones and twos for the camera, E36, Unfiltered Live podcast. We have another special guest, actually two guests on this show, representing today from the local area, North Alabama area. We have today Keenan Hambrick, a 2020 graduate, also a signee of Division I football team, Western Carolina, including his lovely mother, Lorinda Donnell, on here as well. How you guys are doing?
Good. Doing good.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so we get this thing started here. First of all, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to be a part of this and come on to the show to discuss, your life, the process, everything that's going on with 2020, this year of COVID-19. This has been a crazy situation. So how have you guys been doing, navigating through all this process and all this stuff? How have things going with your family and just in general?
All
Hey, you gotta go ahead and get ready for this. This is you. This is your host.
Yeah, I told him. Everybody's good, right?
Yep.
Everybody's healthy. Nobody in our family. We're still praying for everybody, especially my loved ones.
Yes. And let's go and get to this, man. So you guys have had a graduation, a senior year like never before. Now, right now, it ain't something like, hey, yeah, we exclusive, baby. We the one and only, the first to ever deal with something like this. But 15, 20 years from now, you can be able to talk about this. Hey, we was here, and when we went through the senior year, one of the biggest pandemics this country has ever known since, I think, Spanish flu, back way before we was even thought of, that has sent shockwaves through not only the country, but the world. So I first start with you, Keenan. How has this affected? How have you navigated and dealt with the recruiting process, and even just really missing the second half of your last year, your senior year in high school? Man, how was that experience?
Man, it wasn't bad for me. I still graduated, so
yeah.
I mean, I'm cool.
Different activities, senior trip, senior skip day, or mom might not have been with senior skip day, but other events, just get a chance to kind of close that chapter down, in more of a traditional way or manner of dealing with your teammates and things of that nature, or were you able to really just like, hey, it didn't matter to me the way for real?
I mean, we had a couple of trips planned, but other than that, we just usually go to the field every day. So.
Okay. Cool. So putting that word transition, let's go ahead and transition to that then. You're talking about, hey, really, man, we just had, a couple trips got canceled, but we'll be able to, handle that. And you were speaking of, you got to really just go to the field quite often to put in work. You just signed, is in February, the signing date? Yeah, February, with Western Carolina. Take us to that process, because originally I was following your story, and it was like you guys are heavily committed to Kansas. And to speak about that, not only this guy he had numerous offers, at least eight offers, ranging from Southern Mississippi, Kansas, which is Les Miles, the Mad Hatter, and then had your Chad. You had school in between there as well. And what was the transition from your recruiting process? Because you ended up signing with Western Carolina, but was originally committed to Kansas. Kind of take us through that process, and what actually shifted you from going there to signing with Western Carolina with the head coach Mark Spears?
It was the recruiting process was like real long, real hard, real stressful, and Kansas just didn't work out the way everybody thought it would. So I just backed off from that, and then just stayed patient till signing day came. And then February rolled around, and then Western Carolina had wanted me to come up there for official. And I only had one day at Western Carolina because I had to go to Tennessee Martin the next day. So I went up there for a day, then I went to Tennessee Martin for like 2 days.
So what sold you? What was it about West Carolina that sold you over any other school? And it sounds like they wasn't there at first, so they came on late, but obviously did something right to be able to pull you over, win you over. What, and it's the Southern SoCon Conference. What was it about Western Carolina that made it feel home to you?
I don't know. But when you
It needs you to know now. Come on, you can't say you don't know.
I heard the word. I heard the name Western Carolina, and I didn't think it was nothing out there. I thought it was just plain flat, just in the middle of nowhere. But when I got out there, it was just a whole bunch of mountains and waterfalls. So then I got on campus, and I was like, I kind of like this. So then I compared it to UTM, and I was like, nah, I want to go to Western Carolina.
Okay. So, like, yeah, but how was your talks with not just even because there's so much goes into it, because I had that process going through there myself when I signed years ago, University of Alabama, to play football there. The coaching staff was good. The coach, everybody knows the tradition of Alabama, but for me, it was more of when I had a chance to do my official visit to meet the players, the chemistry and the camaraderie and the mindset of the players that I knew I would be spending majority of my time with is what connected me to be like, man, this feels like home. This is what I can feel like. And also the recruiting class that I came in with, I had a chance to know some of these guys for playing different all-star games, and just was on a recruiting trip at the same time. So it brought extra family and oriented type of vibe that I can feel like I can grow in. For you, did you have that similar type of spark of connection?
Yeah, I had it whenever I sat down with Coach Spear and just talked to him for a couple minutes. So once he told me what it was and what it wasn't, I was already sold.
Okay. What gets you? You sound like a very laid back, and it's funny. Your mother has spoke about that years ago. About you, even when you was younger, she was in go way back. She was at Brookhaven. Like, it was Brookhaven at the time, and I was working with the youth service, the high risk kids and things. I would come out there and mentor some of the kids out there. And she even said then that you was laid back, you was kind of didn't quite say much and everything. So what gets you going? I mean, what is it that gets you going? Definitely gotta have an off the ego, especially when you go on the football field and the basketball court. So where that comes from? I've seen some of your highlights.
I wouldn't say that I would say he's nonchalant sometimes.
Okay.
But he gets in his moods where he talks nonstop, and he'll talk to the wall. I mean,
Yeah. Look, he's like, oh, really?
Well, he will. I mean, he'll talk to whatever will listen to him, But then there are other times where he's kind of quiet. And this is just one of those times where, he's kind of like, okay, I got to say the right thing.
Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna keep you in mind. This is unfiltered. So that means unfiltered, say what you say. But now, of course, don't do nothing to make your mom have a slap in the back of the head. We don't want that problem going on. But so we're gonna bring it over here to Lorinda, your mother. For you, how was the recruiting process for you, and what were some of the things that you were looking at as a very non-negotiable as being a parent to get your son off for the first time in his life?
Oh, I wanted him to, and this is, I really kind of pushed Western Carolina, and the reason why I pushed Western Carolina is because I wanted Keenan to go somewhere where he would be celebrated and not just tolerated. If Keenan had gone to Kansas, I couldn't trust that he was just gonna go and be developed as a receiver and have a chance to go to the next level and be, just nourished and cultivated and have a lot of attention paid to him.
Okay.
He to me needed to go somewhere where they were glad to have him, number one, and willing to work with him and make him stronger in the weak places. And you see what I'm saying?
But it sounded like to make it more of a priority. Like he wasn't necessarily a priority, they was making it.
To me, I didn't feel it.
Yes.
But I didn't like the recruiting process. And the reason why I didn't is because I didn't know what the ins and outs of it. Mm-hmm. All I knew was what they told us, what the recruiter said. And which is not always, they say what sounds good a lot of times, but they don't tell you the truth all the time.
Yeah.
What I wish would have happened is that when we came to Athens High School and it was understood that Keenan was looking to play football in college, that Keenan's football coach would have said, hey, well, we need to meet then. Let's meet and talk about recruiting and how it works. We didn't have that meeting until after we had already been on 3 visits and committed to Kansas.
Oh, then it comes, okay. So it sounds like you saying basically as well that not only does it need to be an asserted effort to invest in the kids, you know, when, of course, in the recruiting process, but even prior to that, so that the parents, and not only the parents, but the players know what to look for and how to be prepared going into that process. And, you know, and that's very true. That's something I think that, you know, being in the college ranks and high school, that is very vital, because you don't know, as a parent, you are sending your son and allowing him to make the ultimate decision, the first big decision of his entire life. And you know that that's 4 years that you're not gonna be able to get back, and that can shape him so much. And I would say that I can see why the appeal of Kansas was there. So you like, okay, you think of Kansas from a big scope, you think of basketball, you don't think of football, but you got Les Miles coming from LSU. I seen his recruiting him with Travis Jackson, which I'm gonna tell my age, which was actually a guy I played against when I was at LSU. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, go back to that day. So they had a nice appeal of the name, of the aura of that, of going on. Now I'm gonna ask you, Lorinda, how much did the distance play into the factor? Because Kansas ain't close. You can't just hop up and skip up and look at you and see how much did the distance play into it for you, and what did it feel like for you, Keith? So both of you guys.
I was bothered at first, and then I decided.
Hold up.
No, I didn't.
Like a little bit.
I said, if this is where he's supposed to be, then we're gonna work it out. I'm gonna catch a plane. I'm gonna, you know, and that was that. I was good with the distance. It was scary because, you know, when we went to Kansas, I had never been to Kansas. I had never seen so much snow in person. I was like, are you sure? Like, it's freezing up here. Like, it's snow everywhere.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And so, but it was nice. We like Kansas.
Okay. And so how many hours was it on the drive? 13, 14-hour drive?
Drove like 12 hours. We drove about 12 hours. And that's why I said we won't drive again.
Absolutely not. You know, that told me from the beginning. I know when I was going through that process, my mother made it very clear, son, you ain't, because I was like, hey, you know what, man, Florida State, you know, we're going to take a visit down there. How many hours is that? Oh, that's 9 hours. What? Oh, we can't do that. We don't want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So it made Alabama and Auburn and the Mississippi State become a very familiar, like, okay, broke that down. Let's see, mama ain't with that. But so I understand that. Ken, what for you? Was the distance also a factor? Because you look at Western Carolina compared to Kansas. No.
Oh, I was ready to go the same day. I was gonna stay up there.
Okay. Glad to hear that. Now let's go ahead and run another thing here, another kind of tweak of that situation. You, Lorinda, are an alumni of the University, or Alabama A&M University, the Bulldogs here. Yeah, the Bulldogs. Even though we're gonna say she also went to Alabama State, y'all know that. But you had to go get the math, so understand that. But no, Alabama A&M, and then also your father had a heck of a career down also at Alabama A&M, even went to the league as well. But did you ever feel the kind of the pull and made a very strong name? Was with them when they was winning the SWAC, left and right, dominating. Did you ever feel somewhat of a pull? From maybe not even from your parents necessarily, but just kind of like, you know, maybe want to carry on that tradition at Alabama A&M if given that opportunity.
Yeah, some of my uncles used to tell me that I needed to go to A&M, but I wasn't listening though. But
so your mouth's made up
every time they see me though.
Oh, okay. So they still remember you should be at A&M. What about your father? Did he ever make any type of statements or kind of want you to push that way? How was his process through helping you with the recruiting and his words?
He didn't tell me one thing about A&M.
Oh, okay.
So
literally made it allowed to be your own decision. Okay, that's the best. That's the best way to be respectful on that and the aspect. Now you're at West Carolina. So what's going on now? What's the process? I know you guys can't be up there, obviously. And what you guys doing with the meetings and how this stuff's working?
We get on Zoom meetings every day at 2:00. usually we have team meetings on Mondays. We already had ours this week.
Okay.
So on the weekends, we don't have any meetings. And the way they bringing us up is they bringing us up in like groups. So I go with the first group, which is July 5th.
Okay.
So that's when I report.
Okay. So that's still set in stone. So you got right now, it's going to be going July the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So with that being said, what is your expectations, or what have they given you as expectations for us potentially playing this year as your freshman year, or you know, what is how the offense is set up around you, or around that can go to your strength? You think you better jump in this year, or you kind of just seeing how things going to go?
What's my expectation?
Yeah, your expectations, what is the coach's expectations?
To play the first game.
Off in the no doubt.
Play the
Love
first
it, no doubt. I want to hear nothing else different. Now, was it also the part that sold you to West Carolina? Like, hey, they let me know they're going to give me a chance to compete, because every place doesn't do that, even to this day.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, what's up? Now, we're going into looking at everybody again. We've been talking about how things have been shaping the world with this COVID-19. September the 5th is to be you guys' first official game against Eastern Kentucky. Of course, with all this speculation going on with this is going for Lorinda. They're saying, hey, you know, some schools may not even open up. If they don't allow schools to open up, they're not going to allow people to be on campus to actually play games. NCAA, some conferences are saying, hey, we're going to find a way to make this game happen, whether we have people in the stands or not, no matter what and it looks like no matter if the spike is up or spike is down. I know as a parent myself, well, not a parent yet, but when I become a parent, and I can see having my nephews, not only that you have to deal with the fact, hey, this is a real epidemic, pandemic going on, and I know your son is probably, hey, I'm ready to get out there. As a parent, is it kind of going to be tough? Have you started thinking about the process? Because you're going to have to give your okay, and knowing that you're putting your son in a situation that may put him in harm's way. How have you been grappling that thought process of, hey, it's going to come that time where, because they've been talking about it, not only they're going to have to give the school okay, they also have to get permission from the parents to allow their signees and kids to actually go ahead and play, because they still are under their supervision of the church, of their parents as well. And that's a thought you have been having, or how have you been thinking about that?
You know, I don't worry about it. I pray. I won't hold him back. Because what I know is that if he was exposed to the virus, he's very strong individual, very healthy individual. You know, it's more people surviving it than dying from it. You know, I know the numbers are huge, but I really pray. I pray. That's all I got. I don't know. I don't see myself saying, hey, my kid ain't getting out there. I'm not giving y'all permission. Yeah. I don't see myself doing it. I'll be out there if they let me, you know?
Yeah. Mask it on.
And it's not that I don't appreciate the risk associated with exposure to the virus. We have to move forward. Like, we have to go on, you know, and it, you know, like I said, I pray every day that no plague comes near us, you know, but if it should happen that it would be the opposite, then we're gonna fight. We're fighters.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know, yeah.
And that's why you can do. You know, like I said, it's one of those situations where it's like, man, that is a tough decision, and you look at how, because again, this is something that, I mean, you guys said you got no guidance on how to deal with the recruiting. Nobody has a guide on how to deal with this. As we can see, every day they saying, hey, it's going to start off, the NBA may get delayed a little bit more, or they find ways to get the NBA to get back going for the playoff. So much of the unknown going on. And that's like, so you just got to, like I said, keep it in no prayers and keep it in God's hand. Transition to another alarming, things going on in our world is your Keenan, what, 18? So you turned 18 yet? Okay, so you turned 18. All right, so you're 18 now. And we know that things going on in the world today. We just had a tragic, senseless death with Ahmaud Arbery a while ago, a couple weeks ago, and everything. Well, it actually happened months ago, and now it get hit up, and then not shortly later, you get George Floyd, who was essentially murdered while being detained. And it feels like, man, this like we constantly are dealing with the same thing every single year, multiple times a year, of the law enforcement seeming that not, and again, let's make it clear, not all cops are bad, just like all white people not bad, all black people not bad, but dealing with the threat of not knowing if you're gonna walk out your door and see your son walk back in, or whoever that's walk back in because of the color of their skin. Giving off to your son, man, I tell you also came with a shirt, my son is not a target. What motivated that for you to use that as an opportunity to be able to voice your voice in such a time like this, especially when you have a son that's going off to college within the next month or so, you know?
Yeah. Words have power. You know, life and death is in the power of our tongue. And I hate that. It's so unfortunate that we're in a place where you feel like you need to make it known that, you know, he's not a target because he's black. He's not, you know, but it does. I mean, it does. I felt like the awareness needed to be, you know, heightened. Like, let's raise awareness and let's make it known that these are not just random people whose lives are expendable. Yes. This is somebody's son. This is somebody's brother. This is somebody's father, uncle, husband, whatever. Just like some of these cops have families that they go home to. Mm-hmm. So I just felt like it just needed to be said, honestly. I mean, you know, and it was awkward because I wore the shirt yesterday and I stopped in the store and I didn't understand why the cashier was looking at me kind of funny, because we talk all the time. I go in the store all the time. And she was looking kind of like, she had kind of a look of shame on her face, and she was, you know, she was kind of like, you know, kind of humble, and I just, you know, I reassured her just through my demeanor that this is not directed at, but it does. It's a problem. Yes. And every time, this is why Keenan doesn't understand why I have issues with him just being I just want to go out and go ride around with my friends and go hang out and blah blah blah. Because my thing at this point, if it's not necessary, just be in the house. You know, just because you just don't know what's gonna happen. But like I said, I believe words have power, and I believe that when I speak it into the atmosphere that my son is not your target, then it holds true. I created that. I believe it. I speak it. You know, I believe that we do have the power to speak things into existence, that we have power to call things that be not as though they already are. And so I'm calling out and letting anybody know who might be confused, particularly law enforcement, racist members of law enforcement, that my son is not a target. He's not somebody for you to be afraid of. He's a kid, you know. He doesn't look like it, you know. Which is part of the problem. Doesn't look like a kid, but he is a kid. You know, even if he's a grown man, he's still not somebody whose life you can just kind of take and just, you know, decide just because you think you can. Yes. You know, and that's so critical, and that's something that, you know, at the same time, it's a shame that we have to also reassure, hey, we're not talking about you. We're not saying this, because it makes them, we have to look out for their feelings, but it's like that same regard is not given to our life. That silence, your silence says so much as well. And now it does create an awkward situation, but like you said, it's in a place where things have to be said. Like nowhere in the world do I want to be on E36 Unfiltered, even having a discussion about somebody that looks like me getting shot down by the very same authority that is set there to protect us. And especially when I know numerous of cops out there, white, black, everything, brown, that are really, really good people, first and foremost, and cops. But because this is a continuous cycle, you know, and hearing that, even I would take a step farther when I was having them on the show and thinking about your son. I'm like, man, you know what? One of these days, God bless me, and get my son goes through a recruiting process. I hope that this type of conversation doesn't have to be had anymore or factored in. But the man thought, okay, is this coach, if he's not a brother, do I feel that he's going to be able to protect my son like his own while he's out there? You know, is he going to be able to stand up for him? You know, these type of factors are things that have to be spoken of and thought of at this point in time,
to be able to, even that becomes a part of the recruiting process, you know,
Right.
and that's something that has to be thought of and understood. And like I said, so I thought that was I just want to bring it up because I saw your shirt and I'm like, oh man, that speaks volume. That's how I mean, I get what, you know, because again, this is, everybody has a voice, and to know how to use your voice in a positive way to be able to bring awareness and with hopes of unity. That's the biggest part with that. Now, to kind of transition from there, you, speaking of the things that you are doing as well, and well as your talent, you also have got into your, well, I say got into music, been doing your music, but you have your latest one, Stay Fly. Is that what it is? Stay Fly.
I Stay Fly.
I Stay Fly. Then also Freedom. I saw that on there. So talk about the your latest quick project. I know it's a Keenan. I'm gonna get back on here real quick, but talk to us briefly about your latest project. You know, you've been churning them out, and I had heard a couple of tracks. Like it, quality. What's going on with that?
Oh man, I'm so gosh, I don't think it's been so, it's kind of on the back burner right now, but I hope that I'm done. I'm actually working on it in that album, a studio album, and hopefully it'll be all done in October. But yeah, this is the second time. It's my second. It's not an EP like the first one. It's gonna have, wow, I think I want to say 8 or 9 songs on it. Okay. But I had some experiences in 2019. Like everybody says, oh, 2020 is the worst, and it's pretty devastating. But 2019 personally for me, you know, it'll make you you get crushed, and that oil starts to flow, and you start to, and what I do is I start writing down words and you know, want to express myself because God knows I'm not the only one that you know goes through some things, and I always have written with the intention of encouraging other people like me. Yes. First of all, let them know you're not the only one. Because we as women think that we're supposed to be in a certain place in society, that we want to be valid and we want to be looked at. And if we're this age and we're not married, or if we're working here, or we're not where we want to be, like, it's just like we just take things and we kind of get emotional, and when we really can just flow and be cool with being who we are, and do the best we can until we can do better. And while we're working towards getting better, just be okay, just be chill, and don't worry about what you see the next person doing. So when I write with those things in mind, like, hey, be free in who you are. Just fly free. You know, you're still dope. You still fly. Yeah, you don't have to fly. You don't have to, exactly. You don't have to flip off at the mouth. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Just whatever. I say dope. You say fly. I say dope.
So she'll be saying that, Keenan. That's how her word. So Keenan, what's your talent, man? You got little vocals too as well. You adopt that part as well, or you stick to the ball?
That's my talent.
He think he too hard.
Catching the ball, that's my talent.
He sings in the shower.
So you're the shower singer, huh? Okay, so let's do a quick trivia question. Keenan, what is your favorite song by your mother that you have?
My favorite song by my mom?
Yes.
You don't listen to my music. You don't even know what your favorite.
See, I'm gonna put him on the spot. You gotta come up with something. You got a couple of them now. You got a couple of them.
It's on her first album. What's the? What's it called?
Oh, they got busted. All right, so I Stay Fly. What is it?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay, so you go, my name is Freedom. Okay, we can go with the Freedom. Okay, that's what's up, man. So what for you? I think take you your process for you working out. Where are you working out at right now, anyway?
Anywhere I can.
Anywhere you can. Weight room. What's up? What's that? What's some of the anywhere? Is any gym that's open outside?
Weight room, gym, field, trainers.
Okay.
That's it.
What did Keenan listen to while he's working out? What's one of your favorite artists?
Lil Baby, because he's the GOAT.
Wait, did he say Lil Baby?
Yeah,
it's the GOAT?
GOAT.
I'm disappointed.
Oh,
Lord have mercy. All right.
So y'all telling me Lil Baby ain't the GOAT?
Absolutely not. He been in the game for what, 3-4 years?
And he's hot.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord Jesus. We go. So you forget the Pacs, the Biggies, the Jay-Z, the Nas.
Term GOAT very loosely these days.
Very much. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna move on to that. That's an old 2020 kid.
He might be the GOAT, the greatest of this time.
No, he was the GOAT.
But I don't even give him that.
He just said this on air on the Unfiltered show, so it's gonna be seen by a lot of thousands of people out there. That's okay. I'm gonna make sure we don't let them get loose on the comment section with this comment.
Right.
They gonna tell you, little baby, to go.
Shout out to Lil Baby, with everything. But anyway, my man, not to go, but anyway, my man, Keenan Hambrick here. His mother, Lorinda Donnell, Western Carolina, 2020. Check them out. First game set to be September the 5th. It's Eastern Kentucky. Man, I wish you all the luck, the praise, the success that you can handle, man. And I would say, if anything, just take this success with a grain of salt. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay working. Many opportunities and distractions are going to come your way. But I feel you got a good head on your shoulders that you will continue to handle it, man, and take it in stride. Stay healthy. And any last words for our guests, real quick, Keenan or Brenda?
Shout out, little baby.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh, Lord, we need to have it. And you hear it. Shout out, little baby, and shout out to my man Keenan. All right, so tell us where we can locate you at, man, on all your social media platforms.
Okay, he wants me to go first. I'm on Instagram at Miss Lorinda, MZLARINDA. I'm on Facebook, same thing, MZLARINDA. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. It's just me, Lorinda Donnell. I have Twitter, but I'm not active. I have TikTok. I just like to watch everybody else's videos.
Oh, I'm TikTok famous.
I want to share that. Okay, Keenan, are you on TikTok as well?
Yeah, I'm TikTok famous.
So, you said, oh God. So you got some mood. You got to dance through a little something.
Yeah, I got some heat.
Oh no, you got some heat. All right. So check us out. So let us know where we can find you at, Keenan.
Twitter, you can find me at @thekino_2. Instagram, you can follow me at Lakino with 3 O's. And tell Instagram, give me my blue check too.
All right, you heard it here first, man. Keenan Hambrick, Lorinda Donnell. He's going to Western Carolina. Will be there July the 5th to start his training and process. All prayers and safe travels with him as he goes his destination 256, representing here E36 Unfiltered Live podcast. Thank you guys. See you soon.
They can't stop me from rapping, can they? Can they hop? I spit it through the wire, man.